Welcome to Marketing Ecosystem Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rushana Husainova, Senior Lecturer in Marketing and Marketing Skills Expert. Here we're discussing all things marketing with a special focus on sustainable and regenerative marketing, artificial intelligence, AI, and marketing skills. Let's do this. Hello friends, and very warm welcome to today's episode of Marketing Ecosystem with me, Rushana Husainova. So today's episode is about promotion part of the marketing mix. P, that stands for promotion. Just a reminder that marketing mix is made up of the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. And promotion is what really gets you known in the face of consumers. So what connects your message, your product, your value of your company, of your business to the prospective clients, to consumers, to your target audience, who will then become your customers. So it's really, really important you get this right. And it's very important, above all, that you are consistent in your messaging. So there are plans and templates that one can utilize, but here I wanted to talk about 2 things. One is communication approach called paid, earned, and owned. And I think this is very, very powerful model that includes all the key aspects of marketing communication. And of course, promotion is just a word for everything to deal with marketing communication. And the second thing is actually the plan. What does it take to get the messaging across? And it's not as simple as decide on the message and then send it out to the universe kind of thing. So the first model, paid, earned, and owned, this simply can be used by anyone, really. Any business, if you decide to start your own business, any product or brand portfolio, can create their marketing communication plan along those 3 aspects. So your owned media is everything that you own and you produce yourself. So that would include your website, your social media campaigns, your social media content. For example, this podcast is part of my owned marketing if I was to be a brand, let's say. So let's move on to earned. So this is something that you earn as when your followers, your loyal customers start creating content for you. They start reviewing and recommending your products or services. They would spread the word. They will be your advocate. These are the loyal customers who will nominate you for the awards for the best yoga studio of the year in the local region, and so on and so forth. And final one, so we've covered the owned and the earned and the paid. Final element in this model. Paid is simply all the paid advertising that you would do. That would include the traditional TV advertising, very expensive, and because it's difficult to target, not that effective usually for smaller brands. But that would include also pay-per-click ads on Google. That would include your Instagram ads and Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and so on and so forth. So if you balance your marketing communication across the paid, earned, and owned media, you would be covering the key channels, and this is really just simple and effective foundations for your marketing communication. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about is your messaging and the actual communication plan. And it's not what you might think it is. I'll give you a specific example of how I use this communication plan using something I have done in the past. So marketing skills, that's the thing about marketing skills, they're very transferable, and you can use marketing skills in your career development, in your reputation building, in your own business, of course, in positioning yourself as an expert for consultancy purposes, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on. Even, I mentioned this already, attending an interview and talking about your achievements is a form of personal professional marketing, right? So last academic year, I ran a series of career development seminars, academic career development seminars with fantastic speakers from different universities in the UK, mainly UK, I would say. And so obviously, I wanted this to be value adding. I wanted these events to be really helpful to a wide range of colleagues, not just our colleagues at University of Bristol. And so to do that, I had to employ my marketing skills and create a communication plan to inform wider audiences about this career development seminar series. There were webinars, actually. So to do that, you first, once the product plan is ready, which is I'm translating, which is, of course, once I know the topics of the webinars and I have provisionally agreed with speakers that they will cover these topics. Once that's ready, then I'm moving on to creating a narrative. So describing the webinar, describing the benefits for attendees, what will be covered, what question and answers are there to be expected, and so on and so forth. That's my actual marketing communication that I'm putting out there. And the next thing is indeed putting it out there. So I have decided that since this is a professional series of events tailored to academic career development, I've only used mainly LinkedIn as my channel for promoting this event. So I created a series of posts which I scheduled in advance to come out with a certain frequency that promoted the events with a link for everyone to register. These were, of course, free events, but I wanted as many people as possible to know about this event so that they could benefit from insights that are really valuable for career development to those colleagues. So once this post came out, I had to create the link to register. I've used Eventbrite to create the events and to create a link to register to those events. I had to create a banner. So I had to ask the speakers to send me a short bio and an image of themselves. So I had to create a banner and a description for the Eventbrite as well. I had to also simultaneously create Zoom link for the webinars or online and create a sequence from the Eventbrite that if someone registers, they automatically receive email with the Zoom link and they receive 2 reminders as well. Now, this is something that Eventbrite does automatically unless you change or adapt it, personalize it. They send a reminder, I think, a couple of days in advance and then maybe an hour in advance or something like that. That works really, really well with our busy schedules and everyone just doing multiple things at the same time often. Those reminders came in really, really handy. And so that's the registration part. Then, of course, I was running the webinars. I was introducing the speakers. And I think that is in itself a skill worth mentioning. I've once learned how to introduce a speaker from one of my PhD supervisors, Professor Greg Marshall, who is fantastic at that. I just paid attention to how he introduces speakers. So he would share a story of how he's met a particular, that speaker he was about to introduce. He would talk about the speaker's achievements as if he knew them really well. I observed, obviously, he would do his research, he would conduct his research to introduce the speaker in a very well-informed manner. And he would make the speaker feel very, very valued, very comfortable, and just all around it sounded very professional and almost heartwarming, And so I started observing how he introduces speakers. So I tried to develop that skill. And guess what? First couple of webinars, it took me 40 to 50 minutes to rehearse the nice sounding introduction. I didn't want to read out from the script. That's why I had to memorize certain things. And I wanted the introductions to be really, friendly and informal, yet sounding professional. So the lesson here is that it takes a lot of time and effort to make things sound and look professional. So let's take this episode of this podcast marketing ecosystem. This is probably my 3rd time attempting to record something that is good enough, not perfect, but something that's good enough and valuable enough for the listeners. So next time if you see someone making sleek performance, I assure you they practiced a lot. Or they've just had years and years of experience and they don't need to practice as much anymore. Okay, so that's the webinar. I would record the webinar and I would then make the recording available to the speaker to confirm they're happy with the recording. And sometimes I needed to do some adjustments to the recording, whether it's on YouTube, mainly on YouTube actually, or another medium, another platform. Once they confirm, I would post this, if they're happy for me to share it, I would post this to the wider world. And I would create a sequence of 3 or 4 posts. One would be like, here is a fantastic webinar, here is a recording. If you want to find out more or take part in further webinars, reach out. This is my contact details. Another one would be something like my key takeaways from that particular presentation, something that's helpful to everyone and something that's interesting and engaging. Of course, I would acknowledge the speaker. I will tag them in a LinkedIn post, for example, and I would share a link to future webinars in the series. I would then post something else around organizing. So what did I learn organizing that webinar? What are the key takeaways from the organizational point of view? What are the developments and key lessons learned for me? And then maybe a few months later, there will be a reminder that this resource is still out there and was really helpful. And I might share, with permission, a feedback from one of the attendees. Now, do you see the sequence of how marketing communication goes out? And this is just one simple example of me running a couple of webinars and the work it takes to it's not just about running a webinar in this instance, it's about all the marketing skills involved around that. Here there are organizational skills, there are time management skills, there are copywriting skills, there are absolutely negotiation skills where you have to negotiate time, you have to negotiate with speakers, you have to negotiate with the venues if it's offline, in-person event. You have to absolutely schedule things, so you have to be comfortable with technology, some of the technology anyway. So there are a lot of skills involved in just marketing and promoting one event. So now, next time, if you look at someone promoting their podcast episode or, a consultancy firm they're launching, or they're planning on starting, an influencing business, becoming an Instagram influencer or TikTok influencer, for example, have a think about all the background work that goes into communicating their offering to potential target audience. Okay, so I hope you found this episode useful. Do let me know what you think, as always, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now. A recent study called The Form of AI-Driven Luxury, How Generative AI, GAI, and Large Language Models, LLMs, are transforming the creative process, published in Journal of Marketing Management, looked at how generative AI and large language models are reshaping creativity in the luxury sector. Very interesting. Researchers found that these technologies enable the design of innovative products and personalized customer experiences, enhancing brand value. However, they also raise challenges regarding authenticity and the preservation of human touch in luxury offerings. We're all craving this human touch and human connection, right? So the study suggests that while artificial intelligence can drive innovation, luxury brands must balance technological integration with traditional craftsmanship to maintain their unique appeal. It's a very interesting trend here, isn't it? We're seeing in marketing, importance of striving that balance. That's it for today. Thanks for listening to Marketing Ecosystem. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Have a think about 3 things that you found particularly useful or interesting and share them with other marketing enthusiasts. Until next time, bye-bye.